Resurrection Man number 0, written by Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning, art by Ramon Box and Jesus Saiz. This is the final issue, and it is also an origin, so hey, got that going for it. So last issue, Mitch Shelley finally met up with himself, apparently the original Mitchell Shelley that he somehow has some of the memories of. And this issue just explains how everything happened. So we pick up, and their technology, their little nanobot stuff, the tektites that are inside of them are just immediately interfering with each other, and our Mitch Shelley is able to pick up the memories of this new one to get a more complete picture. And we see 5 years ago, exactly as we saw it in that earlier issue, there was an attack on them. They were seriously injured, and when they got back to the hospital, Mitch basically said, okay, everybody gets injected with the tektite solution in order to see like how it affects people. That's just what we're doing right now. We see that the injured involved his partner Hooker and the two that would eventually become the body doubles. So we see that they are trying to, they put everybody in surgery when they get back. They reattach Mitch's arm to his body, and a few weeks pass, 6 weeks, and they're starting to see what the side effects are. So Mitch he's fully healed up, but his arm still feels extremely weak. Looker, he is regenerative, or he is recovered, but he doesn't regenerate, so he still has horrible scars from the attack all over his body. And we see the body doubles have extremely high healing and regeneration, but they also have just enhancement in general reflexes and reaction times. And we see them in a training battle room where they are hit by explosions and then they immediately just get up and keep on shooting. And of course they do a thing where like their clothes burn off, and it's like tee hee. So at that point, Mitch's arm goes into an intense amount of pain. He collapses on the ground, and everyone's like, uh-oh, I think it was a graft rejection. We're gonna have to see if we can save his arm. So they end up detaching it. They look at it and it's like, I mean, the arm still looks healthy. It was at least there, but like, oh my God, what is that? And inside of the arm is another smaller little baby arm growing out of it. He was literally growing another arm via the tektite. So they take the first arm and they just send it to the incinerator, to which it gets incinerated. But the tektite solution itself does not. And therefore, when it finally comes down in the form of rain outside the smokestacks, it starts to regenerate. And when it reassembles, it regenerates a full version of Mitch Shelley, one that has superpowers. So he doesn't have any real memories, and he just starts making his way out through the woods. And that's how everything happened there. But then we get a little flash forward where the body doubles believe that Mitch Shelley died in like the boss version. He died, but there's someone who looks a lot like him now going around with superpowers, and the body doubles are in charge of cleaning it up. But Hooker knows the truth the whole time, that Mitch Shelley is alive, but just barely clinging to life, and he needs that version of Mitch Shelley in order to figure out how to save his own life, like dismantle him and see how he ticks. So that's everything. So then we get into a very, very brief little fight scene where our Mitch Shelley just uses his, I think it's lava powers, to just like one-shot Mitchell Shelley inside of his mech suit. And Mitchell's like, oh, what now? You're going to kill me? You're just a copy. And he's like, no, I'm better than you in every single way. You are morally bankrupt, and I at least have something I'm worth fighting for. But then before anything can happen, force field comes up around the pair of them. Nobody else can get in. And we see that his timer is up. Heaven and hell are both coming to claim. And all the body doubles are trying to get in. Kimberbecky's trying to get in. But nobody can make any progress. And so the demon and the angel are there, and it's just like, all right, which is going to be heaven or hell? You can't break a contract. And Mitch is like, take that guy. Take the other version of me. Take the one that's crippled and dying and a douchebag. And the angel's like, yeah, that fits my contract. I only needed the guy who matched the name and the DNA. So yoink. And he takes away Mitchell Shelley. And then the angel's like, wait, why aren't you going after Mitch Shelley? He's like, I got my own thing. And the angel's like, oh, did you trick me? Oh, son of a bitch. And he's like, hey, get out of here. You got your contract. So the soul of Mitchell Shelley is taken by the angels and brought up to heaven, I guess. Meanwhile, Mitch Shelley, the force field comes down, the demon's still hanging around, and the demon teleports Mitch and Kim Rebecca just away back to, I think it's Kim's place. And the body doubles look at each other and it's like, hey, all of our bosses are dead. Maybe we should get into like freelance work. Let's get out of here. So then the final page is they're back at Kim's place and the demon's like, here's the deal. You get more powerful every time you die. And that is like super interesting. And I got plans for you, Mitch Shelley. So I'm going to let you live. Okay, bye. And that's the end. That's just where the series ends. So I really did enjoy this series. I really did think it was a solid run the whole way through. It had its mysteries. It's had its good stuff. That being said, I don't think this was the best wrap up. Mainly in that like last page where it's just the demon brings him back and says like, now you get to live. Okay, bye. And then like there's not even a word here from Kim. There's not a word from Mitch. There's nothing. It's just a thing of like, tune in next time, but there's not a next time. So, I mean, they do have a never ever the end. If he shows up elsewhere, fine, great, cool, but it's the end of this book. So I do wish there was a bit more of like a satisfying ending there in terms of, yes, you've wrapped up this particular plot, you've gotten answers, but like, it just didn't feel like an emotional ending. It didn't feel like it had any sort of like, and now we part with these characters. It's just a thing of like, nah, you'll see them around probably, I guess. And if we do, great, but it's not here. So overall, I would give the series a much higher mark. But this particular issue, I got to give like just a flat 7 in that I like what they did. The art was fine the whole way through. I didn't have any problems with that. It was just a, kind of a letdown after all that to be a, okay, well, I hope we'll see you again. Bye. Just wanted a little bit more, I guess.